Everyone, Americal Chaos here, and I wanted to make a video about creating an ancestor altar. First of all, let's talk about why you would want to do this, why you would want to create an ancestor altar. If you want to get assistance from your ancestors as far as protection, giving you protection, if you want to have assistance in being able to connect with the spirit world, your ancestors can do this by creating an ancestor altar. Ancestors also might be able to answer questions for you. They might be able to seek answers for you. They are not able to do anything in the afterlife that they were not able to do in this life. So if they didn't practice the occult in this life, that they're not going to be able to do things in the afterlife as far as working magic for you. Other reasons you may want to create an ancestor altar, if none of those reasons are the reason, then also you could do it just to connect with them. If you miss them, you want to connect with them, you want to hear them, you want to have them in your life, you can do this. Or if you just want to show praise and respect to your ancestors, that's another purpose for an ancestor altar. So let's talk about setting up your ancestor altar first. There's really no right or wrong way to do this. I will give you some guidelines and tell you a little bit about what I've done in creating my own. Whatever feels right for you, do that. But at a minimum, here are some of the things you want. You want to have a place. It can be a shelf, it can be a dresser, it can be a table. If it's a table that your ancestor owned, even better. But it needs to be a table where nothing is on it except for your ancestor altar. Or you can even use a bookshelf, as long as the shelf that you use, there's nothing else on that bookshelf. Then you want to have a white tablecloth and set it out to cover the dresser, table, or bookshelf you're using. Set out water and keep fresh water there all the time for your ancestors. Have a candle or candles there. If you can have flowers there, great. It's kind of hard sometimes to keep fresh flowers there. So if you don't, if you have something else that is pretty, a nice vase or something like that, that would be great too. Occasionally you can do special things on the altar. You can bring and set things on there that your ancestors really enjoyed. For instance, my sister loved Pepsi. And so when I commune with my ancestors, a lot of the time, I will bring her a can of Pepsi. My mom loved the chewy, soft Werther caramels, and I'll put those there. My dad loved bologna and crackers, so I'll set a saltine with some bologna there for him. And those are the things you don't keep there, but you can have there whenever you commune with your ancestors. Having a black obsidian stone there, cleanse it, charge it to keep away any negative entities or low vibration spirits, and keep that on the altar at all times. Another thing you want to do in addition to those things is have a picture of your loved one or loved ones that you want to commune with, and have something to link to them if possible. Have something that they owned in this life. For instance, I have my father's watch on that ancestor altar. My sister collected plates. I have a small plate that she collected. I have a candle, a Christmas candle on my altar for my mom, and it was hers. So you want to have their pictures there, if possible, something to link to them. Never have a picture of the living on your ancestor altar. Only the pictures of your ancestors. So how do you go about setting it up? Once you have it set up, how do you use it to connect with your spirits? What you want to do is you want to do a ritual, and you want to do this ritual for 7 to 9 days in a row. So the first thing you would want to do is you want to, at dusk, come to your altar, and what I always like to do is I have some playlists that I've set up for my ancestors. There's 3 ancestors that I connect with at my ancestor altar: my sister, my father, and my mother. And what I do is I play songs I have sets of 3 songs that I know my sister loved, that my dad loved, my mom loved, and I play those songs because I know they love those songs. My mom was a Christian, and so was my dad, so I will begin the ritual with the Lord's Prayer. Even if you're not a Christian, I do that for them out of respect for them, and I know that's something they would enjoy, and that meant a lot to them. Again, you want to wait and do this at dusk. You want to start off by lighting a candle and lighting incense. Find incense that it doesn't have to be a specific type of incense, in my opinion. As long as it's an incense that you enjoy the scent, that is fine. On the candle, if you wish, you can place a little bit of your blood on the candle. So I will prick my finger and I will rub my blood around the outside of the candle towards me, just to help me to connect with my ancestors. Also, my ancestors, obviously, same bloodline. And so I have a little chant that I say, and I wipe blood towards me on the outside of the candle to help me connect with them. So at dusk, again, come to the altar, light the candle, light the incense, have a bell on your altar as well. And so what you want to do is you want to knock 3 times on the altar, ring your bell 3 times, and call on them. Now, the first few days, I would say like the first 5 days, what you want to do is just talk to them. Just sit and talk to them, reflect, meditate, and think about happy memories that you had with them. Look at their picture and just think about those things. Meditate and think about those happy times. On the 5th day, go ahead and create a small meal. What is something that your ancestors really enjoyed eating? And create a small meal. Come at dusk and share that meal with them. You can make really small portions for them. Obviously, they're not really going to eat it. The dead don't eat a whole lot. But go ahead and bring a plate for yourself and a small plate or plates for your ancestors to share with them. Enjoy that meal with them. And at the end of the meal, tell them that you want to hear from them. Call out to them. Ask them to send you a message, to touch you, to come to you in dreams and visit you. Ask them to send signs and to come into your life. You want to do that the 5th night after the meal, and then the next 2 or 3 or 4 nights, up anywhere from 7 to 9 nights, do this. After that, you only need to do this once a week. Be sure, again, you're keeping fresh water there. And come at dusk or dawn on a certain day of the week. Now, the last day of this ritual, tell your ancestors, I will come back, I will visit you weekly, and I will see you on this day. Now, that said, let me go ahead and show you what my ancestor altar looks like.